Hello everyone, it's Uipo here, Uipo Tangarosa, born and raised in Samoa, moved here 2003, 23 years old when I moved here, and also, growing up without a dad, 12 brothers and sisters, and brought up with my grandparents, being a victim, being an overstayer here for 5 years, and now married to a European, my lovely wife Nicole, and have two girls, and also is founder of Better Lifestyle Fitness in Otahu, South Auckland. Is now me and my wife running it. So, I have a few up and downs with our journey, but the reason why I wanted to share this is creating that hope of anyone, pretty much, not only for the one that came from Samoa, but also for those ones that have the tough upbringing, the one that thinking now that it's the waste of time of pushing it through, it's a waste of time of trying to do anything, that you're not worth it, you're not good enough, that I wanted to be that person, to encourage you to continue and find out what is that you really want, and follow through. Yes, it is tough, and some of the things that you probably struggle right now is probably not having your dad, which is I know that it is one of my biggest problem is just lacking that confidence of not having a dad on the side, and be able to support you, knowing that there's somebody there that's actually helping you, and it's the journey that I have to walk through myself to be able to and recognize these things, and I be able to give back to my girls, be a father to them, and be able to give them what I didn't have at the time. So my encouragement for anyone out there that struggle, with not having a dad, it's not an easy thing, and not only for that person, but also maybe a single mom that that dealing with these little ones, that please don't give up on them. It's the last things that will tip them over, is to push them out of it, and telling them that you don't want anything to do with them, and all those sort of things. I think that's the one thing that these kids want is they just want love, and have that role model from you, and be able to know that you there to support them. And I think that's one of the things that I miss having, is not having that support from dad, and knowing that I'm safe, that somebody is there to look after me, pretty much. So and then figure out what is your goal. There is a reason why you're going through these things, which is I realize that this is your training. This is yes, you're doing the hard time now, and you're trying to figure out, and sometimes especially for our young ones, that they hide, they hide everything from school, because the trigger is when the kids ask, where's your dad, or sometimes the kids will talk about, oh, I've done this with my dad and my mom, we went out, we went into the bar, we went for swimming, we went out for a walk, and all these things that the kids talking about it, and you start thinking about it, it's sending you on fire. It's just really, really, really stressful time, for not only for the little ones, but when I turned 30, I got to the point that it was so hard to figure out what is that, is my life worth living? Is anything gonna change? Is anything on this earth that's actually, it's gonna make me happy, or is it, I will start asking a lot of questions about, is it worth living? And then I try to figure out, what is that I want, in life, which is I find my purpose and find my why now is, which I always love to be with my family, as I mentioned it before, 12 brothers and sisters that, never ever had a time to sit down together as a whole family, mom, dad, brothers and sisters, to have that time together and, play, which I know that it was hard for me back then, but I now sort of, move on, and I understand why I went through this journey. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to support and help others as well, not only for the kids, but also the adults that's still struggling, dealing with their own kids as well is another trigger for me. Like, when I had our girls, when we had our girls, and as small as things like taking them to bed, reading, and I seen them happy sometimes, that I've seen them so happy, and all of a sudden, I've been unhappy. It's so weird, that these things is actually affecting us as adults. But when you were kids, that you do anything for attention, like that all you want is the love, is feel important. Just knowing that somebody is there that's supporting me, somebody is care for me, somebody is really care that's about me, and stuff, which is I so struggle with it. And also, like, back then, like, I was really pleased and I'm really grateful, and I actually had my grandparents. They were really lovely, and I think the love that came from my grandparents, really helped and support me. Like, even till now, I realize that lovely people, lovely couple, and the respect that they have to each other, it really means a lot to me now, and I'm hoping that with you, as adults, that have that positive impact on you. And the other things that now that I mentioned are positive is, yes, there's two things that will happen, it's can either be negative or positive. And I was negative when I first started, thinking about it. I hate my family, especially my mom's family, about it, only because, that I didn't really have that connection with my dad's family back then. I think that there was always that thing that were trying to stop us from going to see them, which is one of the things why I've started running away and went to my dad's family and lived there, only because I want to have that connection and stuff. But they, my mom's side was trying to stop me from doing it. But then I realized that, when I was talking to my auntie about it, I sort of talked to them about it and asked the question why, and I sort of understand why. They love me. They didn't want to lose me. They didn't want me to go to my dad's family and never come back to them, and and all that sort of thing. So it was nothing bad, that they were trying to stop. It was just the fear of losing us from them. But I think, like, one of the things that you realize, if you're a parent, single mom, or even auntie or uncles, grandparents that looking after, maybe your grandkids, maybe your nephew and niece, allow them to find out who their mom or dad's family, or even if they die or they still alive, allow them to understand that, allow them to talk about it, let them know what is, who they are and all that sort of thing, because I think it's when they grow up, it's more valuable for them. For me, I now understand, which is I didn't understand back then, but I now understand why. They were afraid of losing me, and I'm part of their family, and I know that they love me, and it's just the fear of the love that they want to give, but they also protect us from not doing these things, but then also make us really angry about it. So I think my encouragement and the reason why I done this video is I wanted to give you hope, to be able to do whatever you want, knowing that there's always a light at the other side of the tunnel. And find something that you really enjoy, something that if you're young, find us sports that you really enjoy playing, so you can be able to enjoy your life and you don't have to worry about these things. And then ask the question as well, to be able to find out, what happened to this, what happened to this. Then you'll be able to understand when you grow up, and hopefully that when you grow up, that will have that positive impact in you. But I always said, I will always say this to you is, learn, learn as much as you can as you go, because when you get to the other side, it's nice for you to see that you have been through the hard time, you have been through the tough one. So now it's your turn to give back to maybe your cousin, your friends that that have that struggle that you went through. Help them out, and it's one of the reasons why it gets me up in the morning, it gets me up at night to study and be able to give me the motivation, the inspiration to continue with the journey, because I know that somebody out there that will actually hopefully that I can create that values into somebody's life, a young one, adult one that's still struggling, because I knew that after all these programs that I've been through, there are so many adults that actually that they still broke, they're growing up adults, but deep down they are really, really broke, inside. So my mission and is to be able to give somebody's life back and be able to make them happy. If you watch this video and you know that it's useful for you, please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear what you want to know from me, so I can help and support you out, and talking about it. It does help as well. So have a good one. Please send us a message, send me a message and see what we can support. What is that you want to know about the journey? Otherwise, enjoy. There's always a light at the other side of the tunnel. See you later. Bye bye.